woman, and I know the reason why.
Hi everybody, it's me again. I am going live today to talk to one of my spiritual brothers, today about masculinity from a man's point of view. I have a few questions that I want to ask him. I'm waiting for him to get online so I can add him in. Happy Sunday, by the way, even though in St. Louis we don't have any sun. So, hi, cousin. How are you? There he is. Okay. Yes, I'm live again. Hi, yeah. Can you hear
Hey, how
me?
you doing? Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. It's the first time we haven't had any mishaps with our video. So I'm excited. Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Good. Good. I'm doing good. I'm about to have some coffee to get my evening started. It's been a long weekend.
Okay, I got you.
Been working. Yeah. So I wanted to, let me see, have one of my girls, my sisters share this in the group because I can't right now. So I wanted to come and talk to you today because ever since I have befriended you on Facebook, you hit a lot of points on men and masculinity and um, like dating or what women should, look for. And I see that you have been getting a lot of clapback. And when I say clapback, I'm hearing like women coming at you left and right, like, well, but men this and men that and men this. So I just wanted to come and talk to you because I can't think of any other man on my timeline that I can have this conversation with. And people, hi Melanie. Melanie, can you share this in the group so people in the group can see this video? I think I made it public.
I'm gonna tag some of the guys I know you can also talk with. That's pretty
Okay,
much on the focus in the same manner as well.
okay.
hmm
I like, so you're gonna add somebody else?
No, I mean afterward I can tag them in the comments.
Oh,
Because
okay, yeah.
one of them
So
guys
I
on
can,
radio
yeah, yeah, yeah,
show.
yeah,
The other
yeah.
one you can always
So I
invite
can
them,
get
have
their
talks with
point of
them.
view too.
Yeah.
You can see my face, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there. We go. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure you can see my face. Okay, so um, introduction first. Everybody know who I am. Can you let everybody know who you are, Mr. Yeah? Y'all don't even know. I talk about look. Me and Melanie just did a live last night and we touched on you. I was like, I cannot wait to talk to him tomorrow because this is about to be some juice. So can you let
Okay.
my viewers know who you are?
Um, Lionheart, also known as Ye Sasakpo. And I'm just a simple African man that's just trying to help his people get more organic
Yes,
information.
we love it. We absolutely love it. Yes. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get started with my questions that I have for you, my brother. Ever since, let me say this again, we have befriended each other on Facebook. It has been a sight to see that a man is speaking up for the masculine role, like, with African men, because we need to see that as a woman, and seeing that it gives me hope that our men are not lost, our men are not just you know hanging in the shadows. Like there are men out here who is actually trying to help other brothers get to the front line. Like this is what we need to be doing. I love it. You
Yeah,
get
when
a
I
lot of
started,
clapback, but you do a good job.
yeah, when I
Like you
start,
don't care.
when I started, it was specifically just to help my fellow brothers, just talk to them and, not saying I know everything, but just share what I know that can help them. And then
Right.
as time went on, women started gravitating to my page and everything like that, because it
Mhm.
was it was always intended for my fellow brothers to see them
Yep.
become more empowered and be a better version of themselves.
And that's the goal that we want to reach, especially like even with my what I do with the women aspect is to help women heal, to help women become a better them, to understand. the power within themselves, because a lot of women, I say, get into spirituality for the wrong things. It's always they want something out of it. So, I mean, which everyone does, but there's a point you have to cross first before you get to asking spirit for favors. Like you
Right.
gotta
You
get
can't
your
you
favors.
can't treat it like a drug. Just like sex, you can't
Yeah,
treat it like a drug. It'll destroy you. So
it will destroy you.
yeah.
Okay, so the first question I have to ask you, excuse me, my spoon was spinning. What does a healed black man look like? If you can put it into words for the women who are watching, because I have, since our first video, I had so many women inbox me like, oh my God, you need to do another live, and like ask him. Of course, women want to know spiritual black men in dating. It doesn't
Hmm.
have to be personal, but just from your experience of healing other men, what does a healed black man look like? Or African man looks like? If we
That
can put it.
every man is unique. So being here, you gonna every man has his own unique way, but the
Hmm.
core of him is gonna be one who is stable mentally,
Hmm.
emotionally, physically, spiritually. He has self awareness of himself. He has a understanding of where he's going in life. He has a
Right.
blueprint that he can put before you and show you
Right.
that hey, if you come on board, this is where we're going, and his lifestyle supports that. It's not just about him saying it, but the way he live can show you that hey, this is what he's about.
Wow.
I always tell women focus on the lifestyle of a man. That's very important right there.
You said focus on the what?
The lifestyle of a man. That's
Oh, the
very important.
lifestyle.
The lifestyle of a
Ladies,
man
y'all
could tell
better
you a
have y'all
lot.
notebooks out and be writing this down, because this the only time y'all gonna get this knowledge. Because I can't give answers to the women that I hear about men. I can only give them answers to be feminine, to be the woman side of things. I don't know what to tell them when it comes to, what a man is feeling, what a man is thinking, especially being a spiritual woman dating spiritually, it's a different ball game. So I don't know. That's why you're here, because you can answer those questions for us. Yay! Why is it so important for a black man to heal? Like, why is it so important for them to heal?
Because the community depends on it.
And when you say
It
community, what are you meaning community? Like
community,
his
the
community that he
wife
lives
and
in,
children,
or like?
women and children. Women and children make up the community. Without them, there is no community. So they're depending on us to be healed. Because we can't, if we're not healed, we can't protect the divine feminine. If the divine feminine is not protected, then the children are not being nurtured properly. So we
Hmm.
need that.
So we need our black men to be healed so they
Hmm.
can lead the community,
Yep,
which
and protect
is
the key is
and
protecting the
protect.
divine feminine energy. Because if that's not protected, then nothing can grow, nothing can multiply, nothing can be nurtured and flourish properly. So
Oh wow, I'm loving it.
it's like the sun without the moon. Yeah, it's powerful. Yes, the sun can give healing. Yes, it grows stuff. But if you take the moon out of the equation, that very sun will destroy everything it touches.
It will.
So
It
we
will.
need we
Definitely.
so that's basically an organic analogy of if a man is not healed, he can destroy everything he touches.
Ooh-wee. Y'all heard that. He can destroy everything he touches. And I think that's what's from men, from my experience, because I've only dated black men. A lot of them are unhealed, and um, they destroy every single thing they touch. Even for a woman, an unhealed woman, you get two toxic people in one relationship, and it's just
Kaboom.
chaos. I mean, it is chaos. So, y'all heard that. If any man is watching, he is a healer for the masculine. Okay, I can't heal. I can try. I have medicines and stuff. I can heal you internally, but spiritually, you definitely needs to connect with um the masculine to do that. I'm not even going to step over my boundaries like I can. I cannot relate. I'm a woman, and that's why most of my viewers or followers or whoever I work with has been women, because I'm a woman. I know how to heal us spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Um, so my next question will have to be, I know I already know what you're gonna say. but I'm gonna ask anyway. So, what is the masculine role in spirituality or in everyday life? So, what I'm asking, because I have women, like me and Melanie spoke on last night. Um, if you're in a home with a man, like, what is his role? What is he supposed to be doing? In his masculine energy so that a woman can be feminine? What is it that men should be doing?
Um, Overall, because like I say, every man has his own uniqueness about it, makes him different. But in the core sense of that, a man who, you know, first of all, he's out there securing and providing, you
Hmm.
know, taking care of that aspect, and also when he's home, he's able to interact with his woman, also allow her the space to be feminine, to
Hmm.
express herself feminine, insinuating that she is healthy in her feminine energy. And also, you can, I mean, you can help out, in the home and stuff like that. But it's just basically being that stabilizer,
The
you know.
stabilizer in the
Yeah,
home.
women like, they can bounce things off a man and get his opinion about it. And just being, they're being present, and is like I always tell guys, you gotta not only provide for your family, but you also have to enjoy them as well. So find ways to enjoy them and just,
Oh wow, that's the first time I've heard that.
yeah. So and just,
You
trying
also
to
have to
connect.
enjoy your family, not
Yeah,
just provide and protect.
right.
Right.
Try to make memories. I mean, I it is a challenge for us as men because sometimes women tend to have a unrealistic emotional understanding of economics and how it
Hmm.
works. And it's important to have a very transparent, non-emotional understanding of it because in this system, if a man is gonna be fully providing for a woman, then there's certain things as a woman you have to sacrifice. You have to understand that,
So
because.
can I touch base on? I just want to go a little bit deeper with like providing for
Hmm.
her. So when women hear providing, we hear money, ching ching,
Hmm.
like you providing. So what does providing entail? Like with being with a
Pro-
masculine and your feminine.
Providing is not is it's money, but it's not solely based on money. It's providing a healthy masculine energy because a woman needs that.
Hmm.
So providing that for her, providing her security where she can feel vulnerable and feel safe.
So
It's
do
important
you
for women to understand that, to do that.
so do you think that men um should feel vulnerable too? Wouldn't that be men like tapping into their femininity when they're being vulnerable?
Yeah, I think it's vulnerability goes. It's a two-way street. Both have to be vulnerable to each other. That's very important. And but that man has to be able to trust her. Like a man's ego is just as soft or as a woman's heart. So you have to tread carefully and understand that when he
And let
gives
me
it to
tell you,
you.
women do not. We are the ego killer. We will shoot a man's ego up real
Yeah,
quick.
when you find a man that gives you his ego, you have to cherish it very well because you can make or break him. So it's like he's surrendering himself to you. So
Wow. Wow. So when do a man becomes vulnerable in a relationship? Like when do they let down the masculinity? Like what allows a man to be vulnerable?
that depends on the woman, how in tune
Hmm.
she is with her feminine energy. A woman that can touch the soul of a man will get any amount of vulnerability out of him.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it depends on her because a man can sense if he can trust himself in your hands. He can sense. He may not be able to put it in words, but he can sense that. And if you can't touch his soul with your energy as a woman, then you're not gonna
Mhm.
get that out of him.
So he's always going to be this egotistic, what we call a-hole, who, we can't get through and can't, talk to. He don't want
He
to.
he may not be that per se, but he might just separate himself from you. Because if he's not getting that, because women are intellectual. They're the internal aspect of everything in life. So
Hmm.
they're able to touch in a depth that we as men can't touch, and that's what they're designed to do. Basically, they're supposed to go on a deeper level, and so it's in her hands to be able to reach deep inside. If you have a man that's willing and able, and once you can show him that you can do that and not destroy him, he'll open up. He'll open up.
So, so my question is this: the masculine and feminine energy in the home.
Hmm.
The woman is per se, most women I know or entrepreneurs or making more money than their spouses. Like, how does
Hmm.
that play into a man masculinity if his woman is um having to step into her masculinity to take care of the household? So how would that go for a woman? Like, I'm working hard and I'm doing this, because he might be down on his luck or he might, do this. So I have to step into my masculinity. And we have power trips to where it's like, once we there, it's hard to get back into that feminine energy. So how does that play for a man when his woman has to take on the responsibility?
Well, that's where he needs to have a conversation with his wife and have a sit down and let her know what his game plan is, what he's working towards. Just because a woman makes more money than you doesn't mean that you don't make enough to handle the home. But if you
Mm-hmm.
don't make enough to handle the home, then you need to try to put yourself in a position to either take a step back, or we living beyond our means, or what can I do to increase myself as a man? Because you want to push yourself as a man. So don't get complacent in this thing because she's doing it. You know, say have a conversation, plan something out. If she has to help you out, that's fine, but don't let it stagger on too long to where she starts to lose her connection to her feminine energy to where it's hard to get it back. Because once
And
that
I think
happens, it's dangerous.
it is dangerous, and I absolutely agree. And I think a lot of women that I've come across, um, that comes in the healing part of getting back into their feminine energy. Like, because, we're raised by single mothers, um, who never experienced a husband or a healthy relationship, so they raise their daughters in the same light. I was one of those women who was raised by a single woman. So I've always had the masculine mentality. Like, I'm gonna work extra hard and my bills are gonna be paid and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And I was dating really to just have a man say, I didn't want to be alone.
Right.
So um it's really, really, what I'm trying to say is it's hard for a woman to get out of her masculinity if the man is not masculine enough to,
Right.
like, allow her to be feminine. That's what I'm getting trying to say.
Yeah, that's very true. You have to, as a man, it's not easy, but you have to try to create an environment to where she can feel relaxed to be feminine, and um, you're not defined by money, like I tell men all the time, but it is a tool that we have to use,
So
and
how do you use that too? Ooh, you got to elaborate. I'm
well,
listening.
it's a tool you use, to create that environment for her. It's a tool you use to build your family. It's a tool you use to establish generational wealth. It's a tool that you use to create, plan towards something to where you can enjoy your family more than just having to work all the time. So it's different stages, different levels to it. But you have to have the mindset that it is a tool, and don't think that it's all about the money. I don't think women per se, personally, I don't think women are really defining men by money, but they realize that we live in a money society, a market economy, and
Yes, we
it
do.
does take money to do certain things. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah,
So they like to see a man who understands that and goes out there and tries to do the best he can, not kill himself, but at least do the best you
right.
can, because I mean, if you challenge yourself, you can improve. So not just
So
depend on her as some cash cow, or I want her to work and stuff like. But like I say, to each its own. If you want to have a 50-50 relationship, then just make sure it's 50-50 down the middle. But it's still never gonna be, because once she gives birth to a child, then there's no such thing as 50-50. I mean, unless a
hmm.
man can get pregnant too, then that won't happen.
And when that day happens, please, I'm gonna be the first one in line to see it happen.
No,
So
I'm gonna be out of this country. I'll be gone.
They doing some weird stuff now. I'm up out of here.
I'm gone.
Men have it, baby. I can't do it. So would you say that black men have it harder to be masculine? Like in today's age, like our grandparents grew up in a time where the woman stayed at home and took care of the kids, and you know, um, it was just a different time. It was just different. So, do you think that black men have a harder time being masculine, like in this day and age?
Yes, I think back then in our grandparents and great grandparents, the environment was you had to the woman stayed at home, you go out there and work, so it created a environment where a man knows he has to provide. I think now with the push in the home where women are being pushed to be more successful, men are not taking a back seat, and there's nothing to really push them. The environment, the culture in the black community is not pushing them to be that anymore. So they're taking a step back and being more relaxed about it and be like, hey, I'll just get a woman that has a bag. And the women, they're okay with taking care
Providing
of a
for the
man and
man,
providing
right?
as long as
Yep.
he's there, like just be there and that's all I care about. So I think it's a lot more challenging also to not having the right role models at home for men.
Mhm.
What I've come across, a lot of them not knowing what being a man looks like and
Whew.
having the wrong influence and the wrong image out there, and that really has not helped either. And not understanding themselves and creates them not to understand the function of a woman and not valuing her properly. So it's a lot of different things that has made it more challenging today.
For the black man,
Yep.
because I
And
see it
society
all the
itself doesn't, if you're too masculine, then you're this, you're that, So society
yeah.
itself, wants to determine what masculinity is, and that's for the man who understands it to set that standard, not for someone else.
Wow. Okay. I'm learning myself because I'm in a relationship, where we're kind of like balancing. You get what I'm saying? Like sometimes I have to step into my masculinity, but then when I get there it's like deer horns come out and I'm just going. And then I have to realize, like, okay, you do have a man, so you need to, come back
Right.
some and allow him to step up, allow him to be masculine. If not, he's going to coddle away. So it is hard because I have always worked hard. I have always did everything on my own. So this is the first time where I have a partnership where I'm being tested on my femininity. Like, okay, this is your chance. Like,
I
show
think
us what
sometimes,
you're made of.
and for women, just sometimes they have to understand. Just let the man figure it out. Sometimes, just step back and let him figure it out. Because if you're always trying to uh, put it before him, it can be a double-edged sword. Sometimes it's good to have your input. Sometimes it's good to just let him figure it out. Let him, work it out, and then you'll be surprised. He'll surprise you.
So, so like we said last night, me and Melanie is to shut the f up. To shut up sometimes. Because that's hard for women to do. So we
Yeah,
just
so
need to shut
sometimes
up
I mean
sometimes.
sometimes I mean sometimes there's again it all comes back to the woman understanding her feminine energy, knowing when to speak, when not to speak. That a woman who understands that's a very powerful woman. When you know when to speak and when not to speak, and then that right there can do a lot for your relationship, especially if you have a man who really wants to be the best he can be. I'm not talking about a lazy man or a bum. I'm talking about a man who's striving every day to improve, to be that. When you have that
Right.
kind of guy, sometimes you just have to let him figure it out.
So do you think that with a woman being feminine, the man's supposed to be masculine? Just piggybacking off what you just said. So say if um your husband or a spouse for a woman, answer as a man, um, is it okay for us to, I guess, like step up and help? Or like, I guess you're going to say no because you just said it, like, no, let them figure it out. Because that was my next question. Like,
Yeah,
is it okay for a woman to step up and put the pants on? But you just said,
she. I mean, again. she should never. If he's wearing the pants, then you can't have two people wearing the pants. Even if she has to help him financially or whatever, she doesn't have to wear pants to do that. You know,
Right.
because she does have a man who is wearing the pants. If you have to wear the pants, then you got some deeper issues going on than
Yeah.
than that. So if you have a man that knows how to wear his pants, then you should never have to do that. You know, even if you have to help him out here, then like I said, things happen, life happens. You
It
know,
does.
so hopefully he can, he also helps out as well, and at the same
Hmm.
time too, a man has to also allow the woman to run the house. He's the head of the
Hmm.
house, but she runs the house.
Yeah.
So you have to let her energy, engulf the house. Also, when it comes to certain intuitions and stuff, listen to her because
Yeah.
she does be having some insight on stuff that sometimes as a man we can be too focused on the external that we don't see the internal aspect of things, and she can give us that input that really can benefit us. Some of the great kings in history had wonderful wives who had insight, on stuff, and that's what
Oh
made them so
yeah.
great. So
Who was that? The king in Rome when his wife
yes,
told him that
yeah,
Moses, yeah,
yeah,
and yeah, no, it
yeah,
was Jesus. It was
yeah.
Jesus, and she was like, "Let him go," and he followed his wife's, word, and he at first he was like, "No, I'm the king. I can't do that." And she was like, "Please do it, because if you don't, it's going the blood is on our hands." And he was
Yeah.
like, "Nah, I'm gonna listen to my wife."
Following a woman's advice don't make you less than a man. That's
Yeah.
you want a woman who is intelligent, intellectual enough to where she can give advice, and you create an environment where she's comfortable to where she can do that without feeling like she's stepping on your ego. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that's as a man, we also have to make sure our ego is not out of control to where we can allow our wife to come to us with advice or
Right.
suggestions. You know,
Okay. So what would you say causes the ripple um between the masculine and the feminine? Like because
lack of
it's so
understanding,
huh?
lack of understanding,
Lack of understanding.
not understanding each other's role. That's the biggest thing. Having the wrong perception, um, trying to get involved with someone and put our own spin on what we want. Like, I want to be married, but I want to live my own life. I want to be married, but I want to be independent. I want to be married, and I want to, it's like we want to put our own ideology according to what naturally how it was designed.
Right.
If you study some of the wealthiest families in the world, they follow the organic principles.
Yeah, they do.
So it's like the masses are the one trying to do their own thing. So
Mhm.
it is a science to it. So
Wow. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. So understanding, lack of communication, I say, no, not really communication, like comprehension. Like if we are discussing something, you know, do you understand? Like you said, it's understanding of each other. What our
and even
roles
if
are.
you don't understand, don't bump heads. Just come back to it down the road. Just come back to it
Yeah.
later down the road. Just okay, we'll disagree to agree, agree to disagree, and we'll come back to it down the road. We'll work, we'll figure
Mm.
it out. So
Yep. I
I
agree.
think I think a lot of couples, especially in the black community, understand that when they get involved with someone, you're creating something that's bigger than you now. Once you come together with someone, once you have sex with someone, you've now created something that's bigger than you that you have both have to submit to.
Right.
Y'all both are in submission to what y'all created. It's no longer about I, it's us. And once you can understand that,
Hmm.
I think a lot of the ego will come out of the way and people can flow much more fluidly.
So who would you say, being a masculine, um, like who has between the masculine and feminine? Who has the biggest ego struggles? Because I know women, we go through our ego struggles. So you're a very intelligent man. Who would you say have the most ego struggles when it comes to masculine and feminine relationships?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Who would you say have the
That's a
biggest,
good question. Who has the biggest ego issues? Um,
like they struggle with it? Who do you think
who struggles with
is
it the
it? Is it the
most?
feminine or the man? Yeah.
I know my brothers might hate me for this, but I'm gonna have to probably edge a little bit more on us because women feed off of us. So there,
Mhm.
so I would say probably we do as men overall we struggle a little bit more because lack of understanding uh, what being a man is. So when we find a woman that challenges our understanding of manhood, we tend to put a fence up, you know, because
Yeah.
this is all we know what man is. Now you're challenging it. So I think
Wow.
not having the proper understanding of manhood creates us to have a little bit more because women are designed to reflect and feed off of men. Women are naturally vulnerable to men. So at the end of the day, if as a
Yeah.
whole, if men were to get on a semi-balanced path, you see a lot more difference in women as well
Wow.
on a more sincere path.
So it's men. So I thought it would have been women just because of the society that we live in today, that women have the ego um trip of I don't need a man, and like men basically are getting discarded every day because women, other bitter women are clicking up with other bitter women, and they got this whole big pot of F men, and we don't need them, and we on top, and this and that. So from my point of view, I would say that it's women. I guess because I'm a woman and I deal with women more. So
Oh,
um
I think it's the root. You got to go back to the root. Why today women are like that?
why are women like that?
Yeah, I don't just focus on just women behavior of today. There's always a cause and effect to everything.
Hmm.
And because I understand the law of energy and how it works, women are reactionary creatures. And they react on what was done or did to them, and they have what we call a memory system to where trauma from previous women in their bloodline, they can
Mm.
experience it or feel it even if they wasn't there at the time, but it can cause them to put up a shield towards men without them even realizing it. So
So
I
that
think,
would be the generational trauma.
yeah, they have a lot of that, passed down through women who experienced stuff and passed down through their, females down the bloodline because of what they experienced by a man. So not saying that all men was bad, but a lot of what we're seeing, there's a lot of good men, which and I wish they would show that more often. A lot of good black men
Yes.
who, in traditional
Yes.
homes that treated women very well. I grew up in one, so I wish they would stop with the stereotype. But we can't deny the fact that as men, we kind of dropped the ball on a lot of things that led to our women to what they are today. So I think if we can, you know, both
So
of us
you know
have
your
responsibility
inbox
and
is gonna be
accountability.
lit up. They coming for your head, yeah. How dare you? Why you gonna tell the secrets like that? Why you telling them it's us? Now that's giving women another
Uh,
piece of fire to brag
no,
about. Like, yeah,
no,
and
no.
these,
I mean, just because men have done what they did doesn't mean as women you should just not be in your balance. So
yeah,
you're still responsible for that.
still respond. Yeah,
You're still responsible for that.
accountability.
But I think slowly but surely there's a shift with men. Men are starting to realize it's not just about knowledge. You gotta have self healing. And I think
Yes,
slowly but surely they're
yes.
coming around. And I know it's difficult for the women, but I'm being optimistic and keeping my fingers crossed that things will get better. You know.
Well, as long as you keep doing what you're doing and gravitating the men to your platform, like it's fantastic. I see your posts every day, and it's always, you don't just speak on one gender, you go on both. You understand both. And that's what I like, is that you don't just nitpick on women, because I have seen women bashing, I see men bashing, and I'm like, this is insane. Like, we don't love each other no more. Like,
Right.
nobody loves the opposite sex. Like,
Right.
everybody is for themselves, everybody is
Right.
so independent. And one thing that black women struggle from is the independent mindset. Like, I don't need no man. I'm independent. I can do it for myself. But then they on Facebook crying because they lonely. Like you said, make up your mind. You want the marriage, but you don't want, the balance. You
Right.
don't want to
Right.
work for it, or you don't want to do the self healing to get there. You want a husband, but then the next day you like F men. I'm good, and men this and men that. So we are literally like out of balance. It's ridiculous.
when a lot of men see that, they're still learning themselves. So for them, they take it personal. They haven't reached that level to where they can just overlook it and be like, I'm just gonna let my life do the talking, and then eventually, what's meant for me will be. So they'll take it personal and be like, okay, well, I'll deal with you accordingly. So it all comes back to lack of self-awareness and knowing, our organic function when it comes to relationship and how we're supposed to be from an internal aspect, from a core principle aspect within ourselves.
So
I think a lot.
what do you think that you go ahead, you finish your sentence and then I'll ask. I cut
Uh,
you off. I'm
and a
sorry.
lot of people, people will see what I post, and some of them will take offense to it. Even
Oh,
those
I
who have
see.
followed me for a while, and try to twist it into what it's not. But it's basically trying to create a proper understanding of stuff, to
Yeah.
where we can have, because the way we're going about it today is not helping.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not.
we had healthier relationships when we had a better understanding of masculine and feminine. If you want to do the history, we had more stable homes. No relationship, nothing is perfect. It's hard work being a feminine woman. It's hard work being a masculine man. It's
Oh
not, no,
yeah,
nobody's painting an idealistic picture, but it is attainable. It's doable, and it's healthier. So
very much. So I agree. I agree. So that's just you just tied into my next question I was going to ask you when I cut you off. Do you ever think that we would get to a point in the black community where the balance is back where it needs to be, where men are taking on the masculine role and women can live in their femininity? Do you ever seen the black culture going into that direction again?
I believe so. Maybe not in my lifetime, but I believe so because the law of nature is built on self correction,
Yep.
correcting itself.
To its
So,
natural design.
so
Yep.
it will come back. How long it takes, I don't know.
Yep.
But I do believe that people like us who have a healthier understanding, who are still learning ourselves, can
Yeah.
give insight to other people that can help them, those who are genuine. I think over time, in the future, however far it is, it will get to where it needs to be, because that's how it's natural law. It's nothing, so I believe it
Wow.
will.
So do you think my other question is about healing. So because we are healed beings, you being the masculine, I'm being the feminine, and in dating and finding that other half, do you think it's possible for the healed person to heal the other? So, say if you meet a woman or I meet a guy and they come to us broken or, they're out of balance, is it possible that we can heal them so we can have that balance in a relationship? How do you think that works? Because I heard a
Um,
lot of people say you shouldn't date people who aren't healed. You shouldn't date people who are not on your level.
right,
And truth be told, it's a lot of black men out here that are not healed. So what do we do? Go outside of our race to date?
right.
No.
I would say you can't heal someone who doesn't realize they need healing. Number one.
Yep.
Number two, you can give them guidance
Mm-hmm.
on how they can heal themselves, and
Right.
then see how they respond to that, and that will tell you a lot about them. And if they don't take the initiative once that's done, then they're not ready to heal themselves. It's like the analogy of, there's two ways to help someone. I can keep giving you, small money out of my hands where you keep having to keep coming back to me, or I can just show you how to fish and just empower you for life.
Yeah.
So I will show you how to heal yourself. And then I will sit back and see if you're gonna do the work that's necessary, and that's tell me a lot about your integrity and your character as a person. If you do the work, then we can rock with each other.
Right.
But if you don't, then that lets me know that you just want to stay in that unhealed state, and I just can't put myself in an environment that's gonna eventually become toxic.
So is it possible to have a healthy relationship with someone the opposite balance or whatever, that is not like spiritually in tune, that is not, is it possible?
Is it
Say if it's
possible?
something that they never want to do, they never want to, not say like never heal, but like, no, I'm not really into, spirituality and, it's cool. I do the healing part, but I ain't with all that mumbo jumbo. Like, is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah,
As long as they healed, as long as they healed
yeah,
themselves, that's the key part. It's possible. Yeah, because in history,
okay.
there's always been people that's more spiritually in tune than others, and they coexist perfectly. I mean, you had kings that was married to queens who had spiritual powers, and they wasn't really
Yeah.
that much in tune, but they relied on them, and they coexist and had, relationship, marriages, and
Hmm.
had children. So yeah, it's very possible.
Very
But the key
possible.
fact is that both people have to be healed, though.
In order
Whether
to
you,
have a
yeah,
successful,
whether you're
balanced
spiritual or not, that
relationship.
healing has to take place. You can be healed and not be and not be, the spiritual type person, but you can still be healed. So
That's
what you,
good.
so
That's That's good. I'm learning a lot. I hope y'all are, because we've been on here for almost an hour. That's why I wanted to get him on here because this was very important. Because women, I'm telling you, that's the number one question we ask. It's like, what do we do? With the other specimen. The men. How do we work around this? And especially women who are like-minded, like myself, dating and being in tune with spirit is something totally different than being lost out in the world and dating.
right.
Because once you become aware, you pay attention to a lot more things, and we're trying to answer questions that we don't have the answers to because we're not men. We don't have brothers, healed brothers we can sit and, have conversation with about this kind of stuff. it's it's scarcity. It's like it's hard to find. But thank I found you. So hey. Well, Melanie pointed me in the right direction. She pointed me to you.
Okay, she was
So
the one.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I'm very, very grateful because these are questions that me and my friends we talk about with dating, like how do you know, and how do you know if he's healing, or how do you know if he's just aligned. We look for that alignment. Like, is he going to be able to allow me to live in my femininity? Is he going to allow me to let him be masculine, where I feel like, because like me and Melanie discussed last night, I have a traditional mind too, where I
Hmm.
feel like the man should do most of the providing. That's just how I've seen my aunts and uncles been married for 60, 70 years, and that's how they, were. So that's what I paid attention to. Nowadays, it's like women have to step into that power mode to keep the house going. And it's drainful and it takes us out of our
It is.
element.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when you speak to a man about it, it's like he don't understand. I also realize, reading one of your posts is like you cannot get a man to connect like you can, but he does not communicate through emotions. Like you cannot come to him with emotions and expect for him to understand. So I be paying attention. I be learning. So
Yeah.
I be
I think with
learning.
women, I think the advice I would give women is, especially women who are spiritually in tune, and naturally women are gonna be like, they're their internal magnetic, so they're gonna be more in tune on the spiritual aspect. In the beginning, I would say focus less on a man being spiritual and focus more on him being healed.
Yes. Woo. Yeah, I heard that, ladies.
You
Focus
know,
on him being healed.
yeah.
Spiritual.
You're gonna be that spiritual powerhouse in that relationship. Once he's,
Anyway,
yeah, exactly. So once he's healed, that's all you need, and then everything else will flow. Will flow in place. He will appreciate, even if he himself may not be the spiritual type, but he will still appreciate and value that spiritual insight because he will see. He's not stupid. He'll see. If he's self healed, he'll
absolutely.
see it.
Wow. So, what advice would you, on top of that, great advice, because that was my next question is, um, what advice would you give to the masculine and feminine when starting to date? Like, what advice would you give us? Even me, like I'm listening. I'm in a relationship, but I can always take from it and apply to my current situation. So, what advice would you give to the masculine and feminine when it's time to join that balance? So, what kind of advice would you give?
Well, first of all, honest, you gotta ask yourself, what what's your destination in life? Do you even understand that for your own self first? If you don't understand that, then you shouldn't be even trying to get involved with anybody right now. So you have to first understand what your destination is, and then once you understand that, then you can, date someone who has that same similar destination or who
Mhm.
has the same understanding of life that you're trying to, you want to build that compatibility.
Mhm.
And the key should be, you know, should be about, are we healed? Are we, are we striving to be to be healing? Are we on that path of
Mhm.
healing? Take the
Mhm.
spiritual equation out of it and just focus strictly
Yep.
on the healing between both. And if you can find that two people who are trying to do that, then I think that's what you have something you can build with. You guys just talk about your goals and I always tell people in the beginning stages, talk about everything. No question is too deep to ask, and if the person not willing to be open, then they may not be ready for that life commitment partnership. They might just want
If
some
they're not
fun
open,
if they're not
take
open.
notes.
So if they're really serious about having a life partnership, then they will have no issues opening up to you, telling you, because by me telling you the truth about me will let me know how serious you are.
Right.
Whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not. This is the reality of it. Can you accept me for that or not? And then if not, then hey, if you're gonna use that to judge me, then hey, that's on you. Your loss.
Right.
So, but at least I'm gonna be honest and transparent with you about everything.
Right. So yeah, I heard it here
So
first.
there's
Yeah.
we don't want no hidden, surprises. Hey, a year down the road you're married and now this is popping up and that's popping up and you know you're not sexually compatible, you're not this, you're not that, and you don't want to have those issues. So
Right. Not at all. Ooh, that was good. So, any other advice before we wrap it up that you want to give to the viewers out here, women, men, whoever? Because that's about all the questions I had. You know.
just stop trying to put your own spin on things and learn things from an organic perspective. And I think once you do that, you
Oh,
will
I
have
like
a
that.
much more simpler, healthier understanding of life. I think we're too caught
Yep.
up in trying to put our own spin on everything we touch, you know,
Yep.
and that's really causing a
Yep.
lot of dysfunction and causing a lot of chaos in our own
I
personal
was just
lives
gonna say that a lot of
and
chaos.
interacting
Yep.
with each other.
Yep. Well, I want to thank you for giving me your time once again. Y'all don't know, I was like tracking him down. When are we gonna do a live video? When are
Oh
we gonna
man,
do a live video? Because we need to know. Because my followers are mostly women, and I cannot
right,
answer some of these questions. And I'm
right.
like, okay, I don't know,
I'm
but I can
pretty
tell you
I'm
about
pretty
you.
busy, so I mean I know a lot of people like me to do more live videos, or even people like me to come on and do stuff with them, but I'm so busy that it's definitely difficult sometimes to get the
Well, thank
time that's
you for
needed.
finding
But
time out of your schedule
right,
to
yeah,
do a
sure, no
live with
problem.
me. Like, I feel
Right.
honored. I feel special. Like, this is the second one I got, y'all. So, booyah. Like, this is amazing. That is dope. So,
Yeah.
thank y'all for watching. This is Mr. Yeah. That's how you say his name. Yeah.
Yep. That's me.
Yeah. Follow him. He is wonderful. Trust me. I'm a woman and he does not abuse my ego at all. Nothing. So follow him. Thank you for joining me. And I'll catch up with y'all later. Thanks,
All
yeah.
right, you guys be safe out there.
You too. Bye.